So the chair recognizes Congressman Dagman for his summation.
Joint Chairman, can I now proceed?
Please proceed.
Thank you, Joint Chairman. The Philippine Deposit Receipts, or PDRs, of ABS CBN, which are issued to foreign investors, are completely compliant with the Constitution and do not constitute a scheme to circumvent the constitutional requirement on 100% Filipino ownership and management of mass media enterprises. The criticism that PDRs achieve indirectly what the Constitution directly prohibits is regrettably utterly baseless speculation. There is no need to invoke the piercing of the veil of corporate fiction with respect to PDRs because, one, there is nothing secret or furtive about the issuance of PDRs, as the issuance is permitted both by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Philippine Stock Exchange for public transactions. Two, the relation of ABS CBN Holdings Corporation and ABS CBN Corporation are open and made public. ABS CBN Holdings is the issuer of PDRs over the shares of ABS CBN owned by it as underlying shares. There is nothing illegal or irregular about this. Three, to reiterate, the PDRs are not used to avoid or circumvent the pertinent provisions of the Constitution. They are compliant with Section 11.1 of Article 16 of the Constitution. Also, there is no need to make a distinction between American depository receipts and the Philippine deposit receipts based on the difference that in the US, unlike in the Philippines, no corporation has a nationality or citizenship requirement because both the American depository receipt and the Philippine deposit receipt are instruments of investments, not infusion of capital. In other words, the corporate ownership is not affected by the investments of holders of American depository receipts and Philippine deposit receipts upon the issuance of the deposit receipts, whether American or Philippine. It is not surprising that majority of those who purchase PDRs are foreigners because PDRs were abandoned in the Philippine setting after the late 1980s financial crisis, principally to secure foreign investments because the traditional source of financing were not anymore available. Also, the right of an alien PDR holder is limited to his ownership of the PDR. For example, his right to fruits or cash distribution, as well as option to have the underlying shares to which he is not entitled to own, sold in the stock market, and receive the proceeds of the sale. PDR holders are not stockholders because they have no voting rights and full beneficial ownership of a mass media corporation like ABS CBN. Neither do they have title over the underlying shares. The Supreme Court ruled in Gamboa versus Tebes and reiterated in Roy versus Herbosa that, quote, control, unquote, with respect to nationalized businesses refers to, and I quote, shares with voting rights as well as full beneficial ownership, precisely because the right to vote in the election of directors coupled with full beneficial ownership of stocks translates to effective control of a corporation. These Supreme Court decisions, although judicial interpretation of Section 11 of Article 12 on the 60/40 Filipino ownership of public utilities, apply by parity of constitutional intent to the requirement of 100% Filipino ownership and management for mass media under Section 11.1 of Article 16, which mandates, and I quote, the ownership and management. Let me underscore that ownership and management of mass media shall be limited to citizens of the Philippines or to corporations, cooperatives, or associations wholly owned and managed by such citizens. Without voting rights and title over the underlying shares, the PDR holders do not have ownership and management of ABS CBN Corporation. The practice of issuing PDRs to secure investments is not an innovation of ABS CBN because almost 100 years ago in the United States, American depository receipts were already part of the corporate practice to secure investments, not capital infusion, just like the European depository receipts of later vintage. In fact, GMA7 has its own PDRs similar to ABS CBN, which do not transfer control to the foreign holders of PDRs. The rights of PDR holders are limited to the following. One, receiving cash distribution consequent to the declaration of dividends accruing to the underlying shares of stock after the issuer, in this case, ABS CBN Holdings, deducts cost of operation and payment of taxes. Two, option to convert the PDRs to shares of stock if they are qualified to own shares as Filipinos. And three, being ineligible, alien holders of PDRs can only receive the proceeds of the sale of the shares in the stock market. The stringent limitations on PDRs are stipulated in the following documents. One, PDR certificate. Two, PDR instrument. And three, PDR pledge agreement wherein the pledgor issuer retains ownership and voting rights over the underlying shares of the stock. The sale of ABS CBN PDRs, let me repeat, is authorized both by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Philippine Stock Exchange. Honorable Joint Chairman, no avalanche of adverse comments and speculative innuendos will alter the operative fact that PDRs are not vested with voting rights, ownership entitlements, or management prerogatives, and cannot be converted into shares of stock in favor of alien PDR holders. Thank you, Honorable Joint Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Lagman. Next, the chair would like to recognize Congressman Mike Defensor for his summation. Congressman Defensor.
Thank you so much, Congressman Choy Alvarez, to the Joint Chairman. Before I begin my summation, I'd just like to ask Attorney Del Castillo, is the ABS-CBN Broadcasting Corporation listed in the US Stock Exchange, London Stock Exchange, or any foreign exchange?
It's not po, only in the Philippines.
Thank you for that. Kanina ho, sinabi kanina na ito daw po ay hindi na bago at matagal na pong ginagawa. But I beg to disagree. Ito po ang kaunahang ginawa, ang Philippine Depository Receipt. Ito lang po ay unique sa ating bansa. Sa kadahilanan po ang ADR or ang American Depository Receipts o Global Depository Receipts, may German Depository Receipts. Bago nyo po gawin yan, pupunta ka sa New York o sa Amerika. Ipapalista mo ang iyong korporasyon. Merong mga rekisito po yan. At mula doon, magkakaroon ng isang depository bank na siyang mag-i-issue ng PDR at ang mga Amerikano, pwede silang mag-invest doon sa korporasyon na naglista sa kanilang stock exchange. Kaya ako po tinanong si Atty. Del Castillo tungkol dito dahil ang Philippine Depository Receipts, hindi po yan pwedeng o hindi po yan nakalista sa ibang bansa. Dahil pong ABS CBN, dahil sa limitasyon ng konstitusyon, hindi naman din po pwede maglista sa ibang stock exchange, sa foreign stock exchange. So iba ho ang American Depository Receipts sa Philippine Depository Receipts. Nagkapareho lang po sa pangalan. At sa isang banda, nagkapareho po siguro doon sa tinatawag nating relasyon ng share ng kumpanya at ang PDR. Ang diferensya po sa American Depository Receipt, pag ikaw ay bumili ng share, talagang nasa iyo, sa iyong pangalan. Pero ito'y kinakatawan ng isang PDR. Ang Philippine Depository Receipt, wala sa iyong pangalan. Nasa pangalan ng ABS CBN Holdings. Nasa pangalan ng Lopez Holdings. Gusto ko po linawin na yung corporate layering, hindi lang po isa. Maaari po natin sabihin isa, dalawa o tatlo. Dahil magmula po sa ABS CBN, merong ABS CBN Holdings. Yun naman po Lopez Inc. na humigit kumulang 50% ang kanyang pagmamayari ng ABS CBN, meron din pong Lopez Holdings. Kaya nga po nung nakaraang ako'y nagkaroon ng presentasyon, hinihingi ko kung maaaring ipakita sa atin yung PDR ng Lopez Holdings. Kasi po ang Lopez Inc. hindi naman po listed company. The only reason why this were all revealed, kasi sabi po kanina, bukas naman, talaga namang dinideklara na may PDR. Ito po ay dahilan sa sila po ay listed company. And they have to divulge kung ano ang nangyari sa kanilang korporasyon. So ang Lopez Holdings, nakalista po yan. Ang ABS-CBN Corporation, nakalista po yan sa Stock Exchange. At maging po ang sinasabi nating Lopez Holdings Inc. Ngayon, nagulat po ako, for the first time, Atty. Del Castillo mentioned, nagbobotohan pala po yung PDR holders. Tama po ba, Atty. Del Castillo? Nag-uusap po sila, bumoboto, pero sa holdings lang po, hindi sa ABS-CBN Corporation.
Opo, yun lang pong mga rights ng mga PDR holders. Meron po din silang meetings because there's a group. So, iba po yun sa mga owners ng ABS-CBN, mga shareholders. Iba po yung meeting ng ABS-CBN broadcasting shareholders where ABS-CBN Holdings vote the shares.
Tama po. Kanina ho, binanggit ni Congressman Barsaga na ang PDR foreign holders po ay umaabot sa 8 bilyong piso. Sa ABS-CBN Corporation po, yung sinasabi lang PCD nominee, nandiyan pong PDRs, almost more or less 40% ownership ng ABS-CBN. Can you imagine yung influensya na pwedeng gawin ng PDR holders foreign? Having 8 billion pesos, nagmamayari ng 8 bilyong piso, hindi ba nila pwedeng sabihin sa ABS-CBN Holdings, eto gawin ninyo, ito yung dapat, dahil malaki ang ininvest namin sa inyo. At syempre, natural lamang ang ABS-CBN Holdings, given that this is the biggest shareholder within the company, ilalabas nila yung sentimento ng mga PDR holders. Of course, that remains to be seen. Pero kahit saan pong negosyo, kung sino ang may pinakamalaking nilagay na pondo, siya po ay pwedeng mag-influensya, either directly or indirectly, kahit wala siyang control. Ngayon po, sinabi, maraming nagsasabi, hindi lang po dito, maging sa labas, bakit naman ABS-CBN lang ang pinarurusahan? Bakit hindi parusahan ng GMA? Bakit hindi parusahan ng Rappler? Ang Rappler ho, nagkakaso na. Tama po yun. Hindi ko naman po sinasabing exempted ang GMA sa usaping to. Pero hindi po ibig sabihin na nagnakaw si Juan, pwede niyang ituro si Pedro at sabihin niyang, bakit si Pedro hindi niyo ikulong? Kami lang kinukulong niyo. Malayo po sa usapin. Pag may kalaban, may kasalanan, at mayroong violation na sa ligang batas, kailangan po nating tingnan yan. And I'm very happy that some of our colleagues would like to look into GMA. I agree. But let's not be diverted from the issue. Ang issue po dito, was there a violation of ABS CBN of our Constitution? Noon pa lang pong 1994, nagkaroon na po ng issuance ang ating pong foreign investment negative list. Kasi sinasabi, investment to, hindi naman shareholder. Number 1 po dyan, ang nakalagay, there shall be no foreign equity pursuant to Article 16, Section 11 of the Constitution and Presidential Memorandum dated May 5, 1994. Mass media is the very first on the negative list, the most important, and it must be 0% foreign and 100% Filipino. Paulit-ulit na po sinabi, yung share na yan may katumbas na isang common share. Kung ang ABS-CBN po ay 1 billion worth at 300 milyon ang nilagay natin para sa PDR, 300 milyon din po na pag-aari o share ng ABS-CBN Corporation ang tinatabi at binabangga dito. Kung ano ang kita ng 30% yun, pupunta sa PDR holders. Pag ibinenta ang PDR na yun, ang binibenta rin niya ang common share. Attorney Del Castillo, if I am now a Filipino and I buy the PDR owned by a foreigner, can that be translated to a common share if I want to and say, I don't want a PDR anymore, but 10 million common shares, which is equivalent to 10 million PDRs. Is that possible?
That's possible po. He can exercise the rights granted under the PDR to convert the PDRs into common shares.
So exactly my point, Mr. Chair. The ownership of a PDR is an ownership of the common share. Itinago lang po. Excuse me, attorney, forgive me for this, pero itinago lang po yung pagmamay-ari. For example, and if I may ask Attorney Del Castillo this, bawal po mag-ari ang banyaga ng lupa, di po ba, na Pilipino?
Opo.
At kung ako po kukuha ng isang Pilipino at sabihin kong ilagay mo sa iyong pangalan at yung renta dyan, ibigay mo sa akin, may balato ka na lang, yun po yung pinagbabawal.
Opo, pero magkaiba po yun. Kasi
Opo. At kung sakali pong ibenta yung lupa at sinabi kong akin na yung pera, ibibigay ko rin sa iyo yung bigyan kitang balato, pero sa akin yung kita, yun din po ay pinagbabawal kung ako'y banyaga.
opo.
So, of course, si Atty. Del Castillo will have their chance in court when this will be discussed. Pero sa akin lang pong interpretasyon, ganun po ang nangyari sa PDR. It represents a dummy. Yung pong dummy is the paper, which is the PDR. Sa atin po ngayon, marami po ang mga kasama natin na naniniwala na dapat ang ating lupa ay pag-aari ng Pilipino, wag dapat buksan ang ekonomiya. For that matter, Mr. Chairman, I would like the Constitution to be amended. No, I would like that there would be a more liberal investment coming in from foreign investors. But as it is, sa ngayon po, wala tayong magagawa. Iyon ang ating saligang batas. Isipin niyo po, kung lahat pala ng lupa sa ating bansa, lahat ng magsasaka, ginawa ko yung lupa, lagyan ko ng PDR, wala sa pangalan mo. Nandun pa rin kay Juan de la Cruz, pero may PDR. Ang kita, sa'yo. Pag binenta yung lupa, sa'yo. Kawawa naman po yung mga Pilipino. Kawawa naman yung ating mga magsasaka. Sa ilalim pala ng isang creative arrangement, sa isang magandang pagsasaayos ng ating mga papel, ng ating mga batas, pwede tayong magkaroon ng PDR, marami ng banyaga na pwedeng makuha ang lupa ng ating mga magsasaka, ang lupa ng ating mga Pilipino na mayroong mga sariling bahay at lupa na kanilang pagmamay-ari. Mr. Chair, sinabi po nila, at ito yung napakagandang punto, in-approve po kami ng SEC, in-approve kami ng PSE. I beg to disagree that the sale was the approval. Ang pinayagan po ay yung PDR instrument. Just like any other listed corporation, sasabihin ko po, I am company A and I would like to issue stocks. Ito po yung aking basis for issuing stocks. These are the assets that I have. Sasabihin lang sa SEC, oh, tama naman, wala kang denilig. Sasabihin ng Philippine Stock Exchange, oh yes, okay, you can issue that out. Pero yung bibili ng banyaga, walang alam ang SEC doon. Andito po ba ang SEC? Is the Commissioner Ramatong here?
They're in Zoom.
Yes, Commissioner Ramatong, tama po ba ako? Yung PDR instrument ang in-approve nyo. Pero yung pagbili ng banyaga ng foreign national ay wala kayong alam.
SEC? Commissioner Amatong?
Well, the reason, Mr. Chair, ito na po. Sorry.
Good afternoon, Honorable Congressman Defensor. Yes, I am representing the SEC this afternoon. That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Kaya ako po binanggit yan. Naawa na rin ako sa SEC, bugbog na. Sabi pa ho ng abogado ng ABS CBN, pag kami nagkamali, SEC may problema dahil siya nag-approve. Hindi po. Walang kinalaman ang SEC sa pagbenta sa banyaga. Ang pinag-aprubahan nila ay yung PDR instrument, just as any shares sold to the market are approved by the SEC, but they do not know whether or not criminal elements, terrorist groups are buying the shares. Wala hong alam ang Securities and Exchange Commission doon sa usaping yun. Tama po ba, SEC?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, just to be fair, I see Ms. Attorney Del Castillo raising her hand. Maybe she can say something.
Your Honor, when we applied for registration of the PDRs with the SEC and the listing with the Philippine Stock Exchange, we had fully disclosed po that the PDRs can be sold to anyone regardless of nationality. Nakalagay po yan sa prospectus at lahat po ng disclosures na isinibiti namin sa Stock Exchange at saka sa Securities and Exchange Commission. Wala pong itinago dyan. Hindi po nila alam ang pangalan ng mga taong bumili, pero alam po nila ang terms and conditions of the PDRs na wala pong restriction in terms of nationality.
Would SEC like to reply?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We would like to emphasize that when the PDRs were presented to us and we issued an action on the same, the term that was used was it was rendered operative. The documents that were issued by SEC did not use the word approved. So it means that the SEC, after going through the documents and confirming that it has complied with the requirements prescribed by laws, rules, and regulations, rendered these documents or the registration statement operative, Mr. Chair.
Suspended. Hearing suspended. Okay, hearing is resumed. Congressman Defensor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, again, ito po'y usapin na kailangang ayusin ng ABS-CBN at ng Securities Exchange Commission. Pero katulad po na sinasabi ng SEC, hindi namin alam, ang sinabi lang namin, operative. Ang sinasabi ng ABS-CBN, alam ninyo. Pero again, we have lawyers here, we have lawyers in the SEC, yan po'y kailangan yung i-resolve. Pero for the first time, maganda po yung lumalabas kasi nagtuturoan na kung sino talagang kung may kagalagawan, hindi ko sinasabing may kasalanan, nagtuturoan na ho kung sino talaga. Ang sabi ng ABS, ipinayagan nyo kami. Ang sabi ng ACC, hindi namin kayo pegan, ito lang ginawa namin. Ito po'y resolve natin sa korte. No? Dahil ito naman po'y resolve sa korte. Dahil meron akong co-waranto na ipinasok ang ating pong Solicitor General regarding Rappler. And I'm sure this would affect the ownership, in particular, ng PDRs of ABS CBN and GMA. Mr. Chairman, I see yes, Congressman PD, this is my time, but yes, you can please intervene.
Just a very important question, and I will be addressing my question sa kinatawan ng Securities and Exchange Commission. Ang tanong ko, noong bang nag-apply ang ABS-CBN para magkaroon ng authority o kapangyarihan na mag-issue ng PDR, isinama ba sa kanilang mga dokumento o application ang sample ng Philippine Deposit Receipt Certificate?
SEC?
Yes, sir. That was included in the documents that were submitted.
At inyo bang napansin na nakalagay rito ang mga prices relating to existing shares of ABS CBN Broadcasting Corporation underlying shares?
That is correct, sir.
Is correct. At nakalagay din dito na kung sino man ang may hawak ng PDR, he shall be entitled to the delivery of one existing share of stock.
That is also correct, sir. That is why, sir, if I may, sir.
Alaman nyo,
Yes, sir.
dito sa last paragraph, nakalagay din dito, the PDR represented by this certificate does not represent shares of stock, but only confers a right to the delivery or sale of existing shares of stock of ABS CBN Broadcasting Corporation owned by the issuer under the terms and conditions stated herein in the PDR instrument.
That's correct, sir. We confirm.
At siguro sasangayunan mo ko na base sa mga dokumento, sa Philippine Deposit Receipt Certificate na kasama ng mga dokumento sa application, walang prohibition na mag-issue ng PDR sa foreign nationals.
Sir, with all due respect, the issuance of PDRs to foreign nationals, yes, we confirm that that is the case.
There is no prohibition.
Yes, sir.
At hindi nyo rin sinabi sa ABS-CBN, baka naman kung ibebenta nyo to sa foreign nationals, baka naman magkaroon kayo ng violation ng 100% requirement under the Constitution and under pertinent laws.
So we did not do that, sir. That's why in our position paper that we submitted to the Honorable Committee, we emphasize, sir, that the act of the SEC was limited to the making operative the registration statement. We also emphasize that how ABS-CBN Holdings made use or operationalized the PDR is another issue that needs to be determined or that needs further investigation if we will be able to look into any violation of the Constitution, sir.
Ganong karami o ilang beses humingi ng application, nagbigay ng application at approval ang ABS-CBN para sa pag-issue ng PDR?
Mr. Chair, just before the resource person answer, may I just inquire if he already took his oath as a resource person and the name of the resource person, because previously it was as Chairman Amatong who was here.
Have you taken your oath of office, Attorney Padilla?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, If the Honorable Barsaga is
Balik ako
already-
sa aking katanungan. Ilang beses na nag-apply ang ABS-CBN para humingi ng approval sa Securities and Exchange Commission sa pag-issue ng PDR?
Sir, twice, sir. One in 1999 and one in 2013. 2 registration statements, sir.
Through registrations. Okay, I think that would be all.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Congressman Defensor, you may continue.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chairman. Kung maaari ko lang pong tapusin na yung aking sinasabi tungkol sa pagkaklaro ni Honorable Barsaga.
Mr. Chair, may I have 1 minute only because this is very relevant also in relation to Congressman Barsaga's point.
Mr. Chair, I just want to clarify that I recognize my right as the holder of the time, but I defer to the seniority of Honorable Barsaga and Honorable Marcoleta. I defer only because of age, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Yes, Congressman Marcoleta, proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I'd like to take advantage of the presence of the Securities and Exchange Commission's official. May I continue on that particular point if the SEC is still there? I'd like to draw the attention of the Securities and Exchange Commission on the first page of the prospectus dated January 6, 2014, which accompanied the 2014 registration statement of ABS CBN. The following disclaimer is written, and I quote, "The Securities and Exchange Commission has not approved these securities or determined if this prospectus is accurate or complete. Any representation to the contrary is criminal offense and should be reported immediately to the Securities and Exchange Commission." Question: does this mean that the approved permit to sell PDRs as securities only involved the sale of the PDR and did not extend to the validity or constitutionality of the terms thereof or the qualification of the actual holder of the PDR? Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
And is it not correct to state also that in approving the sale of the PDR, the SEC merely relied on the information provided or not provided by ABS CBN Holdings Corporation?
That is also correct, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Congressman Defensor.
Maraming salamat, Congressman, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Boying Rimulya, Chairman Alvarez, in Zoom. Sa dalawang katanungan ng ating makasama, Congressman Barsaga at Congressman Marcoleta, malinaw po na sa sitwasyon po sa ngayon, itong sinasabing PDR, talagang representasyon ng pagmamayari. Maganda. At naiayos naman yung kanilang ginagawa. Naiayos nila yung forma ng kanilang PDR para nga itago sa ilalim ng papel kung paano nagmamayari ng isang common share. At sa loob ng mga korporasyon, nabanggit ko na kanina, ang paglilayer ng bawat korporasyon para maiayos yung pagmamayari sa ABS CBN Corporation. Binanggit na po kanina na nga na ang kita ng bawat share na yan, hindi naman pumupunta sa ABS-CBN Holdings. Yan po ay pumupunta sa PDR holder. Pagka ibinenta naman po ng PDR holder yung kanyang share, kaya po tinanong ko si Atty. Del Castillo kanina, kung ako'y Pilipino, gusto ko bang gawing common share? Pwede. Kasi yun po talaga ang parabang pagsasaayos na ng pagmamayari ng Pilipino. Binanggit ko na po kanina, doon po sa ating Foreign Investment Act, sinasabi po talaga bawal na mag-invest ang mass media sa ating pong bansa. Hindi po pwedeng makapag-invest ang foreign individual, foreign corporation sa mass media. Number 1 sa ating negative list. Sinabi na rin po yung batas na PD 1018, the ownership and management of mass media shall be limited to citizens of the Philippines or to corporations or associations wholly owned and managed by such citizens. Yan po ang batas na kabilang na rin doon sa ating provision ng ating konstitusyon. At dito po sa ating anti-dummy law, sinasabi na rin po dito sa Commonwealth Act 108 na ang batas na ito, any citizen of the Philippines or of those specific country who allows his name or citizenship to be used for the purpose of evading constitutional or legal provisions which require Philippine or any other specific citizenship as a requisite for the exercise or enjoyment of a right franchise, or privilege. Any alien or foreigner profiting thereby may also be held liable. ABS CBN and those that support the PDR issuance will say, hindi naman hindi naman itinago, idineklara. Yes, it should be declared. Because again, it is part of the listed company's responsibility to declare such PDR. But is it legal? I do not think so. And I hope the Supreme Court will finally decide on this. So, Mr. Chair, bilang hong pagtatapos, yung pong binabanggit nila sa lisensya na binigay ng SEC at PSE, para po yung lisensya sa pagdadrive. Binigyan ka lisensya ng pagdadrive, pero hindi ibig sabihin legal yan na mambunggo ka. O hindi ibig sabihin na pwede kang uminom at kapit mo lisensya. Ang inaprubahan yung lisensya mo. Pero kung paano mo ito gagawin, yun po ang hindi pinagbibigyan at merong mga batayan ng batas na hindi pinapayagan. In this case, ito pong pagbenta sa ating pong mga foreign nationals o mga banyaga. So Mr. Chair, sa pagtatapos, katulad ko ng aking nabanggit nung una at uulitin ko lang ulit, unang-una ho, ang ADR, ang ang Global Depository Receipts ay kaiba sa PDR. Kahit na ho magbasa na pa lahat ng mga nag-aaral sa capital markets, lahat ng mga investment experts, ibang-iba ho, you should be listed in the country where you will be doing Global Depository Receipts or American Depository Receipts. Dito po, wala naman listing ang ABS-CBN sa New York Stock Exchange or sa London Stock Exchange. Definitely, because that will not be allowed. Pangalawa po, ang SEC, ang PSE, at ngayon po, nililinaw, nag-uusap sila, sinasabi, hindi na ito pinayagan. At yan po, pwedeng sabihin ng ABS-CBN, hindi, pinayagan nyo kami, pero nakikita nyo na ho, may pagtatalo na. Ayaw nang kunin ng responsibilidad ng SEC yung nangyaring issuance ng PDR, or else they will say so. If they will really take responsibility for the approval and sale to foreigners of PDR. And last but not the least, Mr. Chairman, kasama po ito sa negative list, hindi po ito pinapayagan ng batas, may anti-dummy component po ito, at ito po ay pag-circumvent sa saligang batas ng ating bansa. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Defensor. I would like to recognize Congressman Lagman for his manifestation. Congressman Lagman? Otherwise, kung gayon po, narinig na po nating lahat ang dalawang panig ng PDR. Nagsalita na po ang mga sumusuporta sa PDR ng ABS-CBN at gayon din yung mga nag-oppose. At mula doon ay maraming salamat po sa inyong mga presentation na ginawa ng magkabilang panig at excuse na po lahat ng resource persons na dumalo dito para sa topic ng PDR. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, Kong Boying. Nandiyan na po si Congressman Lagman, kakabalik lang. May manifestation po ba? Kong
Yes,
Lagman.
Mr. Chairman. I would like to make it very clear that what the Securities and Exchange Commission permitted was the sale of securities like the PDRs. The best evidence would be the certificate itself, whatever our distinguished members said or whatever the representative of the SEC said or stated. Let me go to the first certificate of permit dated October 4, 1999, which has been marked as Exhibit A. It is captioned Certificate of Permit to Offer Securities for Sale. And the second certificate of permit dated January 7, 2014, which is Exhibit A-1, is denominated as the same certificate of permit to offer securities for sale. So what the Securities and Exchange Commission permitted is the sale of PDRs as securities, not the PDR instrument, which is part of the submission of ABS CBN holdings, together with other documents and representations. That would just make this very clear. What the Securities and Exchange Commission permitted was the sale of PDRs as securities. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Maraming salamat po, Kong Lagman. Ngayon, pwede tayong pumunta sa pangatlong issue, sa constitutional issue ng kisa ng ABS, whether or not the acquisition of ABS CBN by the Lopez family after the EDSA revolution was pursuant to the Constitution. Atin pong tatawagin yan ng ABS CBN para sa kanilang statement sa isyong ito. ABS CBN, you may have the floor now.
Maraming salamat po sa liderato po ng kapulungan ito, sa mga chairpersons po, mga miyembro ng dalawang komitiba, at sa lahat po ng miyembro ng kapulungan ito. Salamat po at magandang hapon. Ayon po sa ating saligang batas, sa Bill of Rights, no person should be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Number 1 po yan sa ating Bill of Rights. At number 2 po ay private property shall not be taken for public use without just compensation. I was one of the legal counsels of ABS CBN who handled the 1994 arbitration case between ABS CBN and the government for the return of the possession of all its real estate, especially the one at Bohol Avenue and all its broadcast facilities and equipment nationwide. Ang ABS-CBN po sa pagmamayari ng Lopez family ay hindi po nawalay ang pag-aari ng Lopez family sa ABS-CBN at mga broadcast facilities and equipment even from the time that martial law was declared until today. Isa pong patunay dito ay ang titulo na sinubmiti na po namin ang kopya sa mga komitibang ito na na-issue po sa ABS-CBN Broadcasting Corporation noong 1967 at nung ka po kahit isang segundo nawalay ang pag-aari ng Lopez or ABS-CBN Broadcasting Corporation sa titulong ito at mga broadcast equipment ng ABS-CBN. Nandito po sa akin ang original na kopya ng titulo. Kahit po ang shares of stocks nung nagsimula po ang ABS-CBN when it was incorporated ay hindi po nawalay sa mga stockholders nito. What was taken from ABS-CBN was the mere possession of all its real estate and broadcast equipment. Yes, as a matter of fact, on June 8, 1973, a letter lease agreement was signed between ABS-CBN and Radio Philippines Network Inc., or RPN9, then controlled by Ambassador Roberto Benedicto. Pagkatapos po na masunog ang studio po ng RPN9 sa Rojas Boulevard noong 1973. At nagkaroon po ng lease letter agreement 2 araw makalipas na nasunog po ang mga studios nito na pinahintulutan at pinirmahan ng both parties na gamitin under a lease agreement. Kanya nga po tinatawag na lease dahil hindi po nawalay ang pag-aari ng ABS CBN Broadcasting Corporation sa mga lupa at broadcast facilities. ABS CBN was deprived of its right to use the facilities from the declaration of martial law and even after the EDSA revolution, when forces led to the People Power Revolution continued to possess ABS-CBN facilities under the Cory Aquino administration. Pagkatapos po ng EDSA Revolution, nagdeklara po ang pamilyang Lopez na maari pong gamitin muna ang mga facilities and broadcast equipment ng ABS-CBN ng Cory government habang po may krisis or hindi pa natatapos ang emerhensya noong panahong iyon. Ngunit po, on April 17, 1986, si Senator Lorenzo M. Tañada bilang abogado ng ABS-CBN sumulat po kay Presidente Cory Aquino na ibalik na po ang possession ng mga propriedades ng ABS-CBN pati ang mga broadcast facilities dahil nga po wala na yung crisis or emergency. This paved the way for the execution of the agreement to arbitrate on January 6, 1987. Several amendments thereto and supplements were likewise executed between the Cory administration and ABS-CBN so that the return of possession would be transparent and of record. The said agreement to arbitrate was even assailed by a group led by Chito Gascon before the Supreme Court in GR 78389. And the Supreme Court en banc on October 16, 1989 upheld the agreement between the Cory administration and ABS-CBN. The Cory government allowed the return of the possession of the properties and equipment of ABS-CBN on a gradual basis. In November 1993, this was already under the Ramos administration, another agreement to arbitrate was again executed as a continuation of the previous agreements, and the second board of arbitrators was constituted. The government nominee was the Government Corporate Council and ably represented by the Office of the Solicitor General. The head of the Board of Arbitrators was no less than retired Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Amuerfina Melencio Herrera. As a matter of fact, the government filed its answer on April 12, 1994 under the Ramos administration already. Pagkatapos po ng ilang paglilitis, mga testigo at ebidensya iprinisinta sa arbitration board. Itong arbitration board po ay nag-issue ng decision noong May 23, 1995. At yan po namang desisyon na yan ng Arbitration Board ay inaprubahan ng Branch 65 ng Regional Trial Court of Makati in a judgment dated June 23, 1995 in accordance with the Arbitration Law Republic Act 876. No appeal was ever filed on the said RTC judgment. The arbitration merely settled the reasonable compensation for the use of the real properties and equipment of ABS CBN for a period of 6 years, from 1986 to 1992. A more detailed narration of facts in relation to the takeover of the possession and return thereof to ABS CBN were again cited by the Supreme Court in the case of ABS CBN et al. Versus Ombudsman et al. GR 1-33347, October 15, 2008, 569 SCRA, page 59. Two administrations gave imprimatur for the return of the possession of ABS CBN of its real estate, properties, and broadcast equipment. And even the Supreme Court, one validating the agreement to arbitrate and another one for the factual circumstances, lends constitutionality to the return. Maraming salamat po, Your Honors.
Maraming salamat po. Para po sa unang andyan din po kasama natin ang PCGG at DOJ para bilang resource persons natin. Para po magsimula ng interpellation, tinatawag po natin si Congressman PD Barsaga na kung saan binigay din po ni Congressman Bambol Tolentino, Eric Yap at Congressman Advin Cula kanilang mga oras. Congressman Barsaga, meron po yung 20 minutes.
Maraming salamat, Chairman. Bago ako magsimula, hihingi ako ng ilang minuto para aking makita ang original ng transfer certificate of title na binagit ni kompanyero. Kasi katulad na sinasabi ni Deputy Speaker Marcoleta, yung Xerox copy hindi na namin mabasa. So may request for a 5-minute suspension in order to see the TCT, the original.
Hearing suspended.
Maraming salamat, Ginoong Chairman. Unang-una, nais kong banggitin na bilang isang Pilipino na ninirahan sa bansang Pilipinas mula nakako ay isilang hanggang sa kasalukuyan, 3 istruktura ng pamahalaan ang aking nasaksihan at naranasan. Pinanganak ako noong 1950 hanggang noong 1972. Naranasan ko ang mabuhay sa isang bansa na mayroong demokrasya. May mga dyaryo noon, iba-iba. May mga television stations. Nakaboto pa nga ako noong 1971 local election. Ngunit noong September 22, 1972, sa edad na 22 taong kulang, habang ako ay isang working student sa Far Eastern University, nagkaroon tayo ng batas militar. Malaki ang naging pagbabago sa karapatan ng ating mga mamamayan. Yung ating freedom of the press, halos hindi natin nakikita sapagkat iisa lamang ang television station, iisa lamang ang pahayagan at pangkaraniwan, lahat ng labas ay pro-government, pati na articles sa mga pahayagan. Pati na yung right to form organizations na patigil, nawala ang mga student council, nawala ang civic organizations because of martial law. Kaya ako nung maging abogado noong 1976, sapagkat naranasan ko ang demokrasya, nadatili akong nakipaglaban para magkaroon muli ng demokrasya ang bansang Pilipinas. Kasama ako sa mga rallies, nag-organize ako ng mga symposium, nagsasalita ako, and ultimately, in 1986, nagkaroon tayo ng EDSA Revolution, nagkaroon ng bagong pamunuan. Ngunit pagkatapos ng 1986 Revolution, maraming issues ang lumabas. May nagsasabi, yung mga di umano'y nakaw na yaman ay hindi na napasauli, at may nagsasabi rin na yung mga ari-arian that di umano ay inagaw ng ating pamahalaan katulad ng mga properties ng ABS CBN ay hindi naging tama ang proseso sa pagsasoli. At yan ang nais kong linawin kung paano napabalik ang mga ari-arian ng mga Lopez, at dito ang pag-uusapan lamang natin ay yung television station. Hindi natin pag-uusapan ang Meralco, hindi natin pag-uusapan ang PCIB. Nagsimula si Attorney Rendon sa kanyang statement under the Bill of Rights. Every person shall be entitled to due process. No person shall be deprived of his life, property, without any due process of law. And also, meron tayong provision that private property cannot be taken for public use without just compensation. Ang una kong tanong, Mr. Chairman, sa abogado ng ABS CBN na sinabing he participated practically in the documentation ng iba't ibang dokumento sa pagsasoli ng ABS-CBN, nagkaroon ba ng violation ng due process sa mga properties ng ABS-CBN nang ideklara ang martial law?
ABS CBN.
Nung panahon po ng martial law, because of letter of instructions, napunta po ang control ng broadcast facilities ng ABS-CBN at na-shutdown po nga ito at hindi na nag-operate until after magkaroon ng People Power Revolution noong 1986.
Sumasang-ayon ba ang kinatawan o abogado ng ABS-CBN na walang violation ng due process na naganap sa pagkuha ng ari-arian ng ABS-CBN sa pagdedeklara ng batas militar?
Noong panahong yun kasi po, yung salitang sequestration was used. Sa letter of instruction 1, letter of instruction 1-A. Ang sequestration po ay may definite definition po sa ating civil code. Kung hindi po ako nagkakamali, Articles 2005 at 5 po yan, ay dapat po may court order. Kasi po ang sequestration ay paglalagay lamang, parang nilalagay lang po sa korte bilang administrador bago gawa ng pinal na desisyon ng korte kung anong gagawin po doon. Ngunit po at the time ay hindi naman po korte ang nag-issue ng sequestration orders, Your Honors.
Noong ideklara ang batas militar, nag-issue si Ginoong Marcos ng Letter of Instruction number 1, Series of 1972. At dito sa Letter of Instruction number 1, nakalagay rito na nagte-take over ang ating pamahalaan sa lahat ng newspaper, magazines, radio, and television facilities and other media communication. Nang ito ba ay inisyu ni Ginoong Marcos at inimplement ng iba't ibang sangay ng pamahalaan, nagkaroon ba ng paglabag sa ating saligang batas na umiiral noong 1972?
Ito po, kaya nga po inumpisahan ko yung constitutional provision na hindi po pwedeng kunin ang pag-aari ng isang tao, whether natural or juridical, kung wala pong due process. At kung kukunin mo po ito, ay dapat may just compensation.
Sumasang-ayon ba ang aking kompanyero, Mr. Chairman, na base sa saligang batas, in times of national emergency, sa ating saligang batas, may karapatan ang ating pamahalaan na kunin ang kontrol at pamamahala ng mga television stations katulad ng ABS CBN?
Dapat po nirirespeto pa rin ang saligang batas.
Ang aking pong tanong, sumasang-ayon ba ang manananggol ng ABS-CBN na sa ating saligang batas, kahit na panahon ng martial law, kahit na hindi panahon ng martial law, basta may national emergency, may karapatan ang pamahalaan na kunin ang control ng mga television stations, pati na ng pahayagan?
With all due respect, Your Honor, ang paniniwala ko po ay kailangan pa rin pong dispituhin ang konstitusyon o saligang batas. Dahil po ito po ay proteksyon ng mga mamamayan against the excess of government. Yan po ang aking sagot, Your Honors.
So sa inyong paningin, mayroong paglabag sa ating saligang batas nang mag-issue si Ginoong Marcos ng Letter of Instruction number 1 at nilagay sa kontrol ng pamahalaan ang mass communications katulad ng ABS-CBN?
Sa palagay ko po ay meron po dahil ito po ay hindi na ay karapatan ng bawat tao na dapat respetuhin kahit anong mangyari po.
Well, masyadong haba ang ating pagtatalo kung pag-uusapan natin yung due process. Just for the record, every right is not absolute. There are certain limitations, and in this particular case, the limitations are provided for by the Constitution. So madaling sabi, ngayon ang ABS-CBN ay merong prangkisa. Totoo.
Sa pagkakaalam ko po,
May prangkisa kayo?
as of this time po, ay
Before?
nagkaroon na po nga ng lapse. Ngunit hindi ko po expertise po yan.
Okay,
Ako po ay
sasabihin ko na lang
humawak
sa iyo,
lamang po
Attorney.
ng arbitration case po.
Ang ABS-CBN ay mayroong prangkisa, Republic Act 7966. Hindi ka kinakailangan maging ekspertong abogado para malaman natin na mismo sa prangkisa na inisyu ng Congress, sa lahat ng telecommunications may nakalagay reservation in favor of the government na pwedeng kunin or take over ang gobyerno sa inisyuhan ng prangkisa in times of national emergency. Naniniwala po ba kayo na yun ay nasa prangkisa ng Republic Act 7966 ng ABS-CBN?
I'm sorry po, Your Honors, hindi po ako pamilyar sa prangkisa ng ABS-CBN.
Siguro pwede mong itanong sa iyong mga kasama. Who are
Sino po
more
sa
familiar?
ABS-CBN ang pamilyar tungkol sa
Ito naman,
prangkisa?
alam na nating lahat na may
ABS-CBN,
pakibasa.
Section 5 po.
Pakilakas lamang po.
Section 5 po. A special right is hereby reserved to the President of the Philippines in times of rebellion, public peril, calamity, emergency, etc. to temporarily take over and operate the stations of the grantee, or to authorize the temporary use and operation thereof by any agency of the government upon due compensation to the grantee for the use of the stations during the period when they shall be so operated.
So, base sa inyong prangkisa, meron tayong national emergency, meron tayong pandemic, meron tayong COVID-19. At i-assume natin na ang ABS-CBN is still operating. Kung mag-i-issue ng mga statement through mass media ang ABS-CBN na baliwala yung COVID, mali ang ginagawa ng gobyerno because this is a national emergency, inaamin ba ng mga kinatawan ng ABS-CBN na ang Pangulo, based on the Constitution and based on the franchise of ABS-CBN, ay pwedeng mag-take control over ABS-CBN?
Yes, Mr. Chair, yung
Okay,
sinasabi
yes.
po is,
Thank you very much.
yung sinasabi po is temporarily take over
Okay,
or temporary
temporary.
use. Opo.
Temporary. We know that. It will be temporary. Maraming salamat, Ginoong Carlo Atigbak. So, sa madaling sabi, nagkaroon ng EDSA revolution. At siguro, sapagkat kabisado ng ating kaibigan, ang mga nangyari tungkol sa ABS-CBN para mapabalik ang kanilang property, matatandaan siguro niya kung ano ang unang executive order na inisyu ni Pangulong Cory right after the EDSA revolution.
Sa totoo po, hindi ko po alam.
Okay. Para sa kaalaman ng lahat, ang unang executive order na inisyu ni President Cory 3 araw pagkatapos ng February 25 ay Executive Order number 1 creating the Presidential Commission on Good Government. At doon sa executive order ng ating Pangulo, binibigyan niya ng kapangyarihan ang PCGG na mag-issue ng writs of sequestration against the properties ng sinasabing Marcos Crony. There was no judicial procedure made sa tingin ba ng abogado ng ABS-CBN sapagkat writ of sequestration ang inisyu, kinakailangan pang dumanto sa husgado at katulad ng sequestration ng ABS-CBN noong 1972, kinakailangan pang dumaan sa husgado o hindi na?
Ayon po sa ating civil code ay kailangan pong dumaan sa husgado.
So mali ang sequestration order na inisyu ng PCGG sa libu-libong properties ng mga cronies ni Marcos sapagkat hindi ito dumaan sa husgado.
At that time po, there was a people power revolution and the President Cory Aquino was exercising both legislative and executive powers. At yun nga po, ginamit po yung word na sequestration. That is only po to control the possession, parang administrator lang po.
Oh, hindi ba ang nangyari sa ABS-CBN katulad nyo ng sinasabi nyo? Yung properties ng ABS-CBN, hindi nawala sa inyo ang ownership. In-administer lamang ng pamahalaan. Yun ang inyong posisyon sa inyong opening statement. You remain to be the owner of the properties.
Tama po, kaya nga po yung sa arbitration lang po.
Okay.
6
Balik
years.
tayo riyan. Maraming salamat, Tanyera. Pasensya na. Marami nang nagte-text sa akin. Naiinip na. So, simple lamang ang tanong. Paano at kailan napabalik ang ABS-CBN pagkatapos ng EDSA Revolution?
Paano po yung inalaw po ni Presidente Aquino na
Sandali po, attorney. Comsec, pakipalitan po yung microphone ni attorney.
Hello po. Salamat po. Inalaw po ng Cory administration na maibalik paunti-unti yung possession at paggamit ng broadcast facilities ng ABS-CBN mula po nung nag-demand po si Senator Tanyada noong 1986 din po.
Kailan ang kauna-unahang pagkakataon na nakapag-ere ang ABS-CBN Corporation pagkatapos ng EDSA Revolution?
As ABS-CBN po, hindi ko po alam. I do not have personal knowledge po kung
I don't
kailan.
know, kasi wala naman tayong lahat ng personal knowledge to eh. Kasi dumidepensa kayo sa ABS-CBN, inaasahan namin, alam nyo kung kailan nag-broadcast ang ABS-CBN ng EDSA Revolution. Perhaps you can ask yung mga kasama mo rito. Kailan ang kauna-unahang pagkakataon na nag-broadcast ang ABS-CBN pagkatapos ng EDSA Revolution? As simple as that.
Hindi ko po alam.
Meron po
Your
bang
Honor.
nakakaalam? Kung hindi niyo po,
Nakakaalam sa ABS-CBN
excuse me,
Corporation.
Congressman Barsaga, kung po hindi niyo po nalalaman, maaari po bang, kasi kayo po ang counsel ng ABS-CBN, nakakahiya naman po sa committee ito kung lahat po ng isasagot niyo ay hindi niyo po alam. Ngayon po, kung hindi niyo po nalalaman, binibigyan po namin kayo ng pagkakataon na magtanong po sa kasama ninyo kung sino po ang nakakaalam. Maraming salamat po, Attorney.
Salamat po sa reminder, Your Honors.
Pasensya na po, Mr. Chair. I don't think any of us were present during that time. Siguro, Mr. Chair, if you can give us a few minutes. Magtatanong lang kami sa opisina. Baka may alam po.
Bigyan po ng pagkakataon muli si Congressman P.D. Barsaga para itanong ito sa huling
Okay.
sa huling lista po ng first round o ng last round, ng first and only round ng ating interpellations.
Ang susunod kong tanong, Mr. Chairman, sinasabi ng ABS-CBN ni Atty. Rendon na pinayagan ni President Cory Aquino ang pagsasauli unti-unti ng mga properties ng ABS-CBN. Yung po ba ay tama?
Tama po yun.
Okay. Sinabi ni Atty. Rendon, Mr. Chairman, na mayroong pagpayag si Ginang Cory Aquino. Yung pagpayag ni Cory Aquino ay boka-boka o merong dokumento?
Ayon po sa mga arbitration agreements, tax credit lang po yun. Wala pong binitawan ang gobyerno ng cash.
Ang tanong ko, yung bang pagpayag ni President Cory Aquino para isauli ang mga properties ng ABS-CBN ay mayroong order, whether oral or in writing, o hindi niyo ulit alam?
Kanya nga po nagkaroon ng arbitration agreement para po maging malinaw at transparent yung pagsauli
Teka
po.
muna. Pasensya na, Panyero. Ang tinatanong ko lamang, ang sabi mo kanina, pinayagan ni Cory Aquino na ibalik yung properties ng ABS-CBN. Ang tanong ko lamang, yung bang pagpayag ni Cory Aquino ay merong dokumento in writing o wala at boka-boka lamang? Huwag na tayong pumunta sa arbitration agreement. Masyadong malayo yun.
I cannot recall.
Move to suspend, Mr. Chairman.
Suspended.
While suspended, Mr. Chair, nandun naman sa affidavit niya ni
Ng ABS-CBN Corporation. Sa pagbabalik ba ng ABS-CBN Corporation pagkatapos ng martial law ng kanilang mga equipment, mayroon bang binayad ang ABS-CBN Corporation sa pamahalaan na pinamumunuan ni Cory Aquino? At kung mayroon, magkano? At kung wala, then nothing.
tulad po ng nabanggit ko, Your Honor, if papayagan niyo po, ay ang basihan po nito lahat ay yung agreement to arbitrate. At nilitis po ito at nagkaroon po ng desisyon, ngunit po ang gobyerno ay wala naman po talagang binitawan na pera. Binitawan na pera po.
Tama ba ang sabihin ko na ang mga Lopez ay hindi nagbayad, not even a single centavo, sa pamahalaan ni Cory Aquino kahit na binalik sa kanila ang ABS CBN together with all the facilities?
Yun pong issue po doon sa arbitration ay ang ABS-CBN po ang claimant na paggamit ng mga equipment nila mula 1986 hanggat na ibalik po fully for about 6 years.
Para matapos na natin, doon sa arbitration agreement, of course, nagkaroon ng arbitration agreement, pinirmahan ng Executive Secretary Joker Arroyo representing the Philippines.
Yun po ang una.
Una. At sino naman ang kinatawan ng ABS-CBN?
At that time po si Mr. Augusto Almeda Lopez.
Pagkatapos, sino ang chairperson?
Nung arbitration board po.
Yes.
Ang una pong arbitration board, ang chairperson po was retired Supreme Court Justice Abad Santos. Dalawa po kasi naging board
Abad Santos sa una.
Opo, yung
Sigurado
una
ko
po.
riyan.
Opo.
Panyero, okay. Walang nangyari sa unang arbitration.
Kasi nga, wala po dahil challenge po sa Korte Suprema ni Mr. Chito Gascon.
Pero kahit na challenge, doon sa kaso ni Gascon, walang restraining order na inisyu ang Korte Suprema.
Basta po yung arbitration, tumigil muna po.
Tumigil muna. At ang sabi ng Concon delegate na si Chito Gascon, sa ating saligang batas, ipinagbabawal ang oligarchy. Ngunit sa ginawa nitong arbitration ng Cory Aquino, bumalik na naman yung mga oligarchs sa bagong pamahalaan. Well, anyway, those are the issues. Itinuloy ang susunod na arbitration. Sino ang representatives ng subsequent arbitration?
Sa gobyerno po ay yung Government Corporate Council at ang abogado po ay the Office of the Solicitor General.
Sa ABS-CBN,
Si Attorney Andres Bautista po.
at sino ang third person?
Ang chairperson po si retired Supreme Court Associate Justice Amorpina Melencio Herrera.
At ano ang nangyari doon sa arbitration na yon?
Nagkaroon na lang po ng compromise agreement yung gobyerno at ABS-CBN at nagpirmahan po, inaprubahan po ng arbitration board.
Doon sa arbitration proceedings, base sa aking nabasa, initially, humihingi ang ABS-CBN ng 147 million as rentals. Tama po ba yun?
Totoo po yun, more or less po.
Rentals mula kailan at hanggang saan?
1986 po hanggang 1992 lamang po.
So, rentals sa gobyerno na pinangungunahan ni President Aquino at sila ang gobyerno ang magbabayad. Tama po ba?
Opo, that was the claim of ABS-CBN.
Pagkatapos sa arbitration, binaba ng ABS-CBN yung kanilang initial demand na 147 million, ginawa na lamang 100 million.
Actually po, tumawad pa ang gobyerno, naging 97,500,000
Okay,
po.
97 million. At itong settlement, number one, i-apply sa utang ng ABS-CBN sa gobyerno sa mga taxes na hindi nabayaran.
Tatlo pong components po
Hindi, yung
yun.
una.
Yung una po ay...
Ang una ay i-apply sa utang ng ABS-CBN sa gobyerno representing the unpaid taxes.
Yun po ang...
First component.
Isa po. Totoo po yun. Yung
magkano
kaso
yung
po
first
sa Court
component?
of Tax Appeals po.
Magkano yung first component?
Ah, basta po yung pinakamalaki po dyan was about 57 million. Doon po yan sa interpleader case.
Magkano yung taxes sa compromise agreement? You have the documents.
Yung sa taxes po ay 13,291,000 lang po yung
13
sinepo.
million.
Opo.
Okay.
13 million po.
Ang pangalawa naman ay yung $54 million.
Tama po yun, Your Honors.
Sapagkat ang ABS CBN dinimanda ng Banahaw ba ang nagdemanda sa Makati?
Opo, meron pong kaso. Payon po sa mga records na pinagbasihan po namin during the arbitration case po.
Hindi nagbayad ang ABS CBN sa rental. Kaya sila ay napademanda. Base sa records ng Makati Regional Trial Court.
Opo, doon sa interpleader case
Okay.
po.
Pagkatapos yung balanse na 29 million ay i-apply naman as tax credit in the
Tama.
future.
Tama po yun,
Okay.
Your Honors.
So base sa arbitration agreement at base na rin sa dokumento, not a single centavo was paid by ABS-CBN sa pagbawi ng kanilang facilities mula sa ating pamahalaan. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, yung agreement nga po is, yung ABS-CBN nga po ang claimant.
Ang sinasabi ko, base sa records. At para malaman ng ating mga kababayan, bagamat nakapag-broadcast ang ABS-CBN, napasauli ang kanilang property, not a single centavo was paid by ABS-CBN to the Cory government. Walang binayaran.
Wala po kasi nga po sila po yung claimant po.
Kilaiman. Pangalawa, hindi na nagbayad ang ABS-CBN, practically, nagbayad ang gobyerno ng 97 million. Although this is not actual payment, but set up sa Banahaw, sa tax liability, and future credits. Tama po ba yun?
Tama po yun.
Tama. Okay. Now, maraming kaso ang pinail ng ABS-CBN. Nagfile sila ng criminal case laban kina Benedicto. On the ground na si Benedicto ang gumamit ng facilities ng ABS-CBN. Criminal case. Tama po ba?
Tama po yun, base sa case ng ABS-CBN versus Ombudsman po.
Ano yung mga kasong pinail?
Criminal cases po yun, theft, yung
Theft, estafa, coercion, etc.
coercion at saka yung yung sa pagkuha po, pag-exercise po ng real rights over real property without...
At dito sa asuntong to, dinismisto ng ombudsman yung mga criminal cases, dinila ng ABS-CBN sa Korte Suprema, pagdating sa Korte Suprema, sustained ang ombudsman. Yung sinabi mo kanina, ABS versus ombudsman.
Totoo po yun, Your Honor.
Ito yun. Okay. At siguro bilang abogado ng ABS-CBN, ang ABS-CBN nag-file din ng civil case against the estate of Roberto Benedicto. Sapagkat ang sabi nga ng ABS-CBN, sina Roberto Benedicto ang gumamit ng aming facilities noong panahon ng martial law. Tama po ba?
Totoo po yun.
Okay. At doon sa civil case na pinal ng ABS-CBN, natalo ulit ang ABS-CBN at mga Lopez. sa civil liability, sa Court of Appeals.
Totoo po yun, Your
O
Honor.
yun, okay. Pagkatapos, wala namang desisyon ang husgado na illegal, unlawful ang pagkuha ng ating pamahalaan sa mga properties ng ABS-CBN noong panahon ng batas militar.
Sa pagkakaalam ko po ay wala naman po akong alam ng desisyon ng Korte Suprema kasi pa nga po walang kasong na-file except lang po yung Benedicto case.
Okay. Sa iyong pagkakaalam, ano ang posisyon ng mga Lopez sa pagkuha ng property nila noong panahon ng martial law? Mayroon bang coercion, mayroon bang puwersa, etc., etc.?
Yun po ang legal position ng mga Lopezes or ABS-CBN.
That's the legal position.
Legal position po yun.
Although iba ang factual situation na sinabi ng Korte Suprema sa kaso ng Lopez versus Ombudsman. Huling tanong ko na lamang. Tinignan ko kanina yung TCT original na dala ni Attorney Rendon. At bagamat mabilis ang aking pagkakatingin, may nakita akong mortgage registered and that is dated 1975. Pwede bang pakitingnan yon? Nasa likod.
(1975) Meron po dito naka-inscribe po.
Just for the record, pwede bang pakibasa mo yung entry ng mortgage dated 1975?
Ito po, babasahin ko po for the record. PE 3263-T125702, a mortgage. The Philippine Commercial and Industrial Bank to guarantee a principal obligation in the sum of 13 million mortgaged di ko po mabasa, no? Necessary in case subsequent encumbrance or alienation of the property, either condition set forth in document number 367, page numbered 75, book 6 of the Notary Public of Manila, Cesar Catalan. Ang date po ng inscription ay March 10, 1975. Date of instrument rather, I'm sorry, Your Honors. And date of inscription, March 13, 1975 at 3:20 p.m. po.
Base sa titulo na nakapangalan sa ABS-CBN, nagkaroon ng mortgage, nagkaroon ng sanla noong March 1975.
Base po sa portion na pinabasa niyo po sa akin.
At ang pagsasanla ay ginawa ng ABS-CBN Corporation, hindi ng Marcos government.
Hindi naman po.
Sapagkat kung pinwersa yan ng ating pamahalaan, unang-una, yung titulong yan, yung owner's copy, ay nasa pag-aari ng mga Lopez. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
At base riyan sa dokumento, the proceeds were given to the Lopez's or ABS-CBN Corporation.
That would be the legal consequence po.
Oh,
kung
that is the
nangutan
legal
po.
consequence. And that mortgage was executed when?
Yung date of instrument po ay March 10, 1975. Ang date of inscription po, March 13, 1975.
March 10, 1975. At siguro, magkakasundo naman tayong lahat na March 10, 1975, nasa ilalim pa tayo ng batas militar.
Opo.
Okay? I'll just reserve my other questions, Mr. Chairman, when the competent person would be available to testify regarding what transpired immediately after the EDSA revolution. Maraming salamat, kumpanyero.